Yeah, hello. You're welcome to our video tutorial by Take LMS Academy, and my name is Adeboye. Now, we'll be looking at several topics, and today's topic is quadratic equations. Now, these are equations that can be solved using several methods. One of the methods here is factorization method. We have others like completing the square, graphical method, and so on. So we'll look at those other methods in other videos. But in this video, we'll be looking at several examples using factorization method. Here's the first question which says, using factorization method, solve 2x squared plus 13x equals to 15. Now, this is an example of a quadratic equation. It's a quadratic equation because the variable x has a power of 2, which is the highest power that you have there. And that's exactly what you have in a quadratic equation. So now what you will notice here is that you have 15, which is on the right hand side, and then you have other numbers on the left hand side. So let's check out the first step. So the first step says that move terms to the left side. So going back to the question again, now if you look at the equation, this is the right hand side, and then here we have the left hand side. So we want to move all expression, all numbers, all terms from the right hand side to the left hand side, and we have 15. Now 15 has a sign, or yeah, a sign of positive with it, because I mean there is no positive or negative written there, but then it's a positive as it is because it's not written there. Now when you are moving a number or a sign from one side to the other side, the sign changes. So if you have a positive 15, moving from the right hand side to the left hand side, it changes to negative 15. If it were to be negative 15, now when you are moving it from the right hand side to the left hand side, the negative 15 is going to become positive 15. Likewise, when you are moving any number that is a positive from the left hand side to the right hand side, the symbol will change as well. So if it was positive, the sign will change. If it was negative, the sign will change to the opposite. All right, so and that's why we have this here, that is 2x squared plus 13x minus 15 equals to 0. The second step is to multiply 2x squared by negative 15. Here is the 2x squared, and here we have the negative 15. Now when you're multiplying, ensure that you multiply with your signs. In this case, 2x squared happens to, it looks like it doesn't have any sign with it, but whenever you have it in that form, I want you to take it that is a positive sign that you have with it. And then your 15 has has a negative sign. So when you're multiplying, it's more like you have um, a, a positive 2 and then a negative 15. So positive times negative is going to give you the negative, and then 2 times 15 you have 30, and then you have x squared. Then 15 doesn't have any variable with it, so you just have your x squared. So you have negative 13x squared. Step 3, find the factors of negative 30x squared. So the negative 30x squared, which we got over there, we are going to find the factors. Now when we talk about factors, we mean what are those things, what are the numbers that you multiply to get 30, for example. So the approach I use for this is to start with the simplest number or the smallest number, which in this case is 1. So 1 multiplied by 30 would give 30. The next number after 1 is 2. 2 multiplied by 15 will give 30. Next number is 3. 3 multiplied by 10 is 30. Next number is 5. 5 multiplied by 6 is 30. Now, once you realize that the gap between the numbers you're multiplying is already small, then that is the maximum. So you won't have another number that you can multiply like that. And I mean, we are not talking about multiplying decimals. We are talking about multiplying whole numbers in this particular case. Another thing that you need to realize is that you also have your symbol, or you have your sign. You have negative along with the 30. So if you have 1 multiplied by 30, it doesn't give you negative 30, except you add a negative to one of the factors. In this case, you have negative 1 times 30, and that's going to give you negative 30. If you have 1 multiplied by negative 30, that will give you negative 30. So you distribute the negative one after the other. Those are the factors. Okay? We have negative 2 multiplied by 15. You're going to have negative 30. You have 2 multiplied by negative 15. You have negative 30. And so that's how you split each of the factors into 2, and then you distribute the negative symbol. And that's what is going to give you the negative 30. Now, as for the variable x, now you distribute your x variable across. So meaning that you have x squared, you separate it as x multiplied by x. You put it on the two sides of the factors. The next step. Step 4. It says add the pairs of factors. The one that adds up to positive 13x among the 8 variables or the 8 factors above is negative 2x and positive 15x. Now, let me explain this. Here, you can see that it says the one that adds up to positive 13x. Now, where exactly did we get this positive 13x from? Now, if you go back to your question, here you have it as 2x squared plus 13x minus 15. Here is the positive 13x in the center. So we want to get two factors that adds up to give us that positive 13x. So here is what we do. So we add the numbers according to what we have in this step 4. So negative 1 plus 30 will give 29. 1 plus negative 30 will give negative 29. Negative 2 plus 15 will give 13. 2 plus negative 15 will give negative 13. Negative 3 plus 10 will give 7. 3 and negative 10 will give negative 7, and so on and so forth. So, and then don't forget the variable x, which you're going to add behind it. So that's how you add the numbers. And then so it's the step says that which of them adds up to positive 13x. So from here we can see that it is negative 2x and 15x that adds up to 13x. So it says that that's what adds up to it. So let's see what our next step says. Step 5 says replace the positive 13x in the equation given with negative 2x plus 15x. So those two factors which you got, you are going to use it to replace the positive 13x. So here is the positive 13x in the middle. Okay, so we are going to replace that with negative 2x and positive 15x. You are also free to make it positive 15x coming first and then minus 2x. Okay, so but in this case, here is what we have. So we have 2x squared minus 2x plus 15x minus 15 equals to 0. Let's see the next step. Step 6 is factorize by taking the first 2 and the last 2. Now here is what that means. Now let's go back to what the equation looks like exactly. So we have it as 2x squared plus minus 2x plus 15x, and then we have minus 15. Okay, that is our equation. That is what we have actually replaced. So this is obviously equals to 0. So we replace the positive 13x with this negative 2x plus 15x. So the next thing that we actually do is, according to what we have here, it tells us that we should factorize. So we are going to take it like this and this, and then this and this. That's just what you have here. You have 2x squared minus 2x, and then positive 15x minus 15. Okay, so that's how you have it. Now factorize. Now factorize means that you are um, you are you want to get a number or um, a letter that is common to what? Common to this side and this side. So if you look at this, you have 2x squared minus 2x. Now looking at this, you realize that here you have 2 and here you have 2. So 2 is common. Now when you have 2 that is common, for example, you bring out the 2. Now you have x squared. What does x squared mean? X squared basically means x multiplied by x. So meaning that in the 2x squared you have x present twice. Now but in this other side you have x just once. Okay, so what you will do now is you take 1 out of the 2. So now you have x, which is common. Then you have a bracket. The next thing is, what do you have left? On this first one, you've taken out 2, you've also taken out x, so you have only x remaining. And here is x. And then minus. Now over here, you do not have anything left. Now how do I mean? Because you've taken you've taken out the 2 and you've taken out the x. So when there's nothing left, you are not expected to write 0. No, you are expected to write 1. So whenever you have factorized and then there's nothing left there, what you should replace it with is 1. Please, not 0. And that is exactly what you have written here. So 2x into bracket x minus 1. Now, in case you don't understand this, let's look at another way of doing it. So let's say we have 2x squared, we have 2x, and then we want to find the factors that are common. So if you look at this, this is same thing as saying 2 times x times x. And then this is same thing as saying 2 times x. Now, look at these numbers that we've multiplied to get 2x squared and also 2x. Now, 2 is common here. Bring that out because that's a common factor. We have x is common here because that's also a common factor. Now, what do we have left? We have x here, and then we have nothing here. So, put 1. And then in between it, you have your negative. The negative is coming from what you actually have here. Okay? So that is how you arrive at 2x, open bracket, x minus 1. Now, if you don't get that, you're free to play it over again. Now we'll go to the next one, which is 15x minus 15. So we write it out the way we wrote it. So 15x and then 15. Now what are the factors of 15x? That's 15 multiplied by x. And then here we have just 15. Now, you could decide to break 15 apart into 3 times 5. But mere looking at the what you have, like 15x and then you have 15, you'll find out that 15 is actually common already to the two of them. So you don't need to break it apart. We're going to have other examples where we'll have to break some apart. But in this case, this is the approach that we use. So now what do we have common here? We have 15 here, and then we have 15. So 15 is common to both of them. Now, there's nothing common to the two any longer. So you have your bracket, you have x here, and then nothing is common here, so you're going to have 1. Now, in between that, you have a negative. So you're going to put the negative symbol or negative sign. Okay, so that's how you arrive at positive 15 into brackets x minus 1. Now, do not forget that we actually have to place a positive there because positive is also common. Now, if you ask me how is it common, you know, um, it's common because by the time you consider, okay, we have 15x and then minus 15. Okay, now take note that this 15x is actually having a positive with it. Okay, and this 15 now appears to have a negative, but if you fix a positive here, you realize that it's still going to give you the same thing, like negative times positive will still give you a negative, just like what you have there. So what we have common here, we have a positive and positive, so that's why we have the positive outside. So let's move on to the next step. Step 7 says combine the factorized terms. So those terms that we got from step 6, that is 2x into bracket x minus 1 plus 15 into bracket x minus 1, we are going to combine them in step 7. So it says that note the values in the bracket must be the same. This is a proof of being correct. So take a look at this. You have x minus 1, x minus 1. So you need to work towards having those terms to be the same. So x minus 1, x minus 1. If they are not the same, you need to work it out and check out what to do. Now, most of the time, it must have been from here that you must have made one error, and possibly the symbol here. You may need to tweak it, and then when you do that, you would find out that okay, this and this are now the same. Now, one other thing is, see what you have here. By the time you multiply out, like saying 2x multiplied by x, you're going to have 2x squared. 2x multiplied by 1, you're going to have 2x. Okay, and then 15 multiplied by x, you're going to have plus 15x. And then 15 multiplied by negative 1, you're going to have negative 15. Now, by the time you multiply this, you must be able to have what you had in step 6. Sorry, what you had in step 5. So you must have your 2x squared minus 15 minus 2x plus 15x minus 15. So it's very, very important that you do that, you watch that out. Now move on to step 8. Step 8 says that collect the terms outside the bracket. Okay, so let's take a look at this. We have 2x and positive 15. So you collect those terms. Okay, and then this x minus 1, they are common. So what you do is that you pick just one out of it. Just pick one out of it. And that's exactly what you have in your step 8, where you have 2x plus 15 and then x minus 1. Now, what's the next step? Don't forget that all of this is they are still equal to 0. So what to do next is equate each bracket to 0. So the bracket here is 2x plus 15. You equate it to 0. And then the other bracket is x minus 1. You equate it to 0. Okay. Now, the next thing is we are going to find the value of x in the two equations. So look at the first thing here. Here we have 2x plus 15 equals to 0. Now we want to find the value of x, so you take the positive 15 from the left hand side, you take it to the right hand side, that becomes negative 15, and then you have your 2x equals negative 15. So what you do is, to find the value of x, you divide both sides by 2, okay, and then you're going to have negative 7.5. So by the time you do that, you're going to have your x equals to negative 7.5, and also you have your x already equal to 1. So you move your negative 1 from the left hand side, you move it to the right hand side. So you have your x equals to 1. So from here, you realize that you already have x equals to 7.5, and then you have x is also equal to 1. So we have two values of x in this particular equation. So we have our answer. Now, I believe that you are watching these tutorial videos because you want to know more about um, quadratic equations using factorization method. And I hope that you find this video very, very helpful. Now, I want to tell you that the fastest way by which you can get or to you can achieve your goal of learning more about factorization method is to enroll in our online courses. Now, we have some videos and other explanations which will provide you with a step-by-step approach on how you can get this done. I mean, it's well explained, is detailed. Now we have more examples um, on factorization method, and at the end of each topic you have some quiz that you can answer and will help you to assess your progress. So there's a link um, to enroll in the description beneath this video. So just click the link and then it will take you to where you can enroll. Now, please, we would like you to subscribe to our channel and click the notification icon to receive notification of more videos that come. Thank you.